Hello everybody, my name is V. Narendra Kumar and we are from NRK Academy. Today we got the fourth in the series, the Philosophical Achievement of Ayn Rand. The series is The Life and Genius of Ayn Rand. First one is, she made utterly clear. We already discussed in the earlier videos also that existence, the whole world, universe, inside, outside, is absolute. And now there is no escape from reality. She elevated facts to the level of reverential acceptance. In the history of philosophy, this basic fact has been incredibly obfuscated. And the first time I read philosophy, Russell, Kant, Hegel, I was amazed at how idiotically they wrote. They're writing total nonsense. And I was wondering, what is this? Why are they writing this nonsense? And at 24, when I discovered Ayn Rand, especially the book Philosophy, Who Needs It? I suddenly understood that they are actually joking on the fundamentals. They are purposefully doing that because you don't also understand. It's understandable also. For a man, even for you and me to say, I've got the ultimate truth is very scary. So it is guided to our own, as they say, bias. Because suppose from childhood, I believed a lot in God, and now I know that there is no God. So what I'll do is I'll twist this whole thing and say, no, there must be God. And I know it's very difficult to explain this, but there it is. That is how the philosophers have written. I believe that religion has not left us. Though God has gone, religion has gone. That kind of making a mystery of everything has remained. And at least when there's a God, there's a clear-cut purpose. Here, without God, you are obfuscating fundamentals. That's very curious. It's very strange. It was a very strange experience for me that some great thinkers like Bertrand Russell and Marx and all these people were actually not clear on fundamentals. That is I would say, the general knowledge which Ayn Rand gave the world. She made utterly clear that existence is absolute and that there is no escape from reality. She elevated facts to the level of reverential acceptance. In the history of philosophy, unfortunately, this fact has been incredibly obfuscated, as I explained just now. Basically, first by religion. Anything. There is a God, there is this, there is that, all these superstitions. But then it was okay to still cling to it in the 21st century. We all know what it leads to. It leads to wars. It leads to, first of all, I think it leads to our own incapacities. We ourselves become incapacitated. I believe that this is the reason why we are not good thinkers. By religion as tradition that still continues. And in the subconscious, in the best of people. I've seen in the best of people, even the people who introduced Ayn Rand to me, I saw again they are going back into something is there. We are still not able to accept that we live, as Carl Sagan told us, simply in a universe that is governed by scientific law, though it is really known to be true in our century and in fact from the past 350 years. Ayn Rand, they are not able to accept that. Ayn Rand ended that obfuscation. I'm sure she has liberated millions of people all over the world. They don't maybe talk, they don't make videos, but they live great happy lives. Ayn Rand ended that obfuscation, and hence we are now freed. Man is freed. Simply and yet profoundly. It is really an astounding thing, to know that you know everything. But it will obviously take many more centuries to spread and take deep root. So in that sense, the world has not changed. You might have changed and you might have been liberated. The world still goes on with its religionism and leftism. And we can see that leftist, right is fighting, polarizing the world. It has got a level of wars now, tensions, economy collapsing. All that she showed in that lecture. And all of it has come true. Because she made us, put it simply, she made a science of everything. All modern philosophers took the path of simply obfuscating and bringing in a nihilism, mainly Kant, Hegel and Marx. So you can go through these philosophers. I'm not saying everything they said was false, but what I'm saying is fundamentally they were false because they had their own agenda. They could not face the fact that there is no God, especially Kant, Hegel, Marx. Marx was anti-capitalism. Hegel was some kind of a historicism, you can say. Like he wants to show that something is ruling the whole world and all that. There is a pseudo idea of God. And Kant is a total destroyer of knowledge. So to go through these philosophers, in essence, you can go through this philosopher. You need not also go through this philosopher, I personally feel. Because clearly, as we are seeing the effects of the leftism and the religionism and leftism in every single country in the world today. She emphasized the law of identity in that she made it utterly clear that a thing is what it is. You know, to be is to be something. See, if something is, a glass is a glass. It might sound silly to newcomers to philosophy, but a glass is a glass. But first the glass exists, but it can't exist and not exist, sorry. So obviously a glass is a glass, right? That is the meaning of law of identity. So glass will not behave like water, and hence it behaves exactly like a glass. It sounds funny. So they cannot, and that is why there are no contradictory behaviors in entities, whether it's glass or door, or man or animal or anything. Third, she said there is such a thing as knowledge and logic, and this aspect of her philosophy is the most ununderstood, misunderstood. For her, knowledge, truth was not a dry thing, no, but the very nature of man and his power and his value, hence as man. The light that shines when you grasp, understand something. She elevated that into almost like a new religion, the religion of man. And four, rooted that as his greatest value, reason, the faculty that makes man, and that operates naturally with focus in us, integrates not empty things, but the material that our inviolate senses give us. Observation leads to deep grasping of things that light is. That opening of eyes leads to grasping the whole world, where you have to get the whole and cannot rest till. And that natural thinking in each of us, she not only released but made it look also simple. She truly made the true is the whole simple, obvious, and possible to be achieved by each of us. Fifth, not only did she elevate this, she concretized this aspect by hundreds of pages in her action-packed, bitter, beautiful novels where the heroes have to triumph, have to win, even if they have to go against the whole world. Sixth, courage, yes. And more than that, a passionate dedication, exaltation of man's stature and power, and yet a down-to-earth philosophy. Anyone and everyone can and should and yes would want to practice. Who would not want to practice? And actually I would say that the whole world is going towards that direction. Not only Ayn Rand, the self-help books, people going for happiness, people wondering how to study methods, more books, more clarity, more concepts. Obviously the world is heading towards a knowledge society. Thus she opened the floodgates of the possibility, finally, of social activism that celebrates happiness, integrity, honesty, and independence, productiveness, money, love, sex, pride, all of that simply rooted in our power of reason, in action, our obvious now commitment to rationality. We want to know them. Thus she celebrated man and his life, thus making living not a drudgery, duty-bound pain, but a freedom to feel no fear or pain, and especially no guilt. She made man innocent and pure and just, and brought in the pure elements in religious, spiritual living is actually there in the rational living of the Randian kind. She brought it to the fore. She made man sacred. She worshipped man and self-exaltation. That is why people are scared. Suddenly she comes here and says the truth. Ninth, she rooted finally all the above to a social philosophy that celebrates capitalism, outlining its incalculable energy, power, release, and thus was a passionate advocate of man's rights, and equally by implication exposed socialism to the core, blind, power, lusting evil it really is. It is. 10th, thus she liberated man, and ultimately men. Actually, if you go deep into religion also, you'll find this essence in all these religions. And that is the main thing. Thus she liberated man, and ultimately men, and brought in a possibility of freedom, happiness, finally peace on earth for man, of man, possible only by man. And thus she celebrated arts, all arts, opened up them all, giving profound meaning to each, its power to influence, give that metaphysical joy. She showed art as a concretization of all of the above in graspable form. What is art? All this whole essence of truth, you show it in music, you show it in painting. I have met great painters, genius of painters, who have taken this kind of an outlook and made extraordinary paintings. I've met so many Ayn Rand heroes, so many. She showed art as concretization of all of the above in graspable form, thus giving the highest pleasure, priceless to man in his often constant struggle to bring his values to reality. See, in our real life, you're always struggling, right? But Ayn Rand gave not only the philosophy, she gave the great stories. Thus, she refueled the fuel that is art. 12th, and she opened up all fields. See, once you open up knowledge, all fields are open, right? You name it: education, science, computers, engineering, medicine, finance, economics. Everywhere you can go deep. Whatever might be your field, her fundamental lens takes you deep into it and brings an innovation that are practically inexhaustible and begging, and any man can learn and create. Thus, she leveled men. She made all men equal in a way. No more or less, each in his profound self-respecting living, yet deep brotherhood. She gave a new proper meaning to man as a social being. But then we are, isn't it? Man is a social being, is he not? She ended all divisions precisely because she brought man as the same entity. Is that not brotherhood? 13. She has brought in principle, benevolence and justice and clarity and happiness, unlimited discovery, innovation to all. 14. She brought in a vision of man and life, finally, in a form that is ideal and practical both. As life ought to be, as life could be. So, absolutely that is the reason why Ayn Rand was so popular. Among the most deep thinkers and among the most ordinary people, especially leveled people, Ayn Rand is the answer, or rather I would say the truths of Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand herself said, and I would completely agree with her, my perspective as a creator, it should be the same for you and me and anybody. My perspective as a creator should be not how great I am. No. My perspective as a creator should be not how great I am, but how clear this idea is and how true. Coming to the truth, knowing that there is truth, and living by the truth is all that she said. In just this one sentence I can sum up Ayn Rand's first thing. And that completes our series of life and genius of Ayn Rand. As of now, we'll add more and more videos on various aspects of our philosophy. And you can go out now and read our books. If you've already read our books, I'm sure you have enjoyed these videos. This is a humble sharing of whatever little I know and I felt reading our books and applying it in my life. Thank you so much.